Have you ever had a customer land on your website at 9 o'clock at night looking for answers, but no one's around to reply? Maybe they leave frustrated, or worse, they go to a competitor. What if your website could chat with them instantly, answer their questions, and even book a meeting without you lifting a finger? Recent studies show 22 to 62% of calls to small and medium businesses go unanswered. 85% of callers never bother calling back. And the average business loses over 126,000 a year from missed calls alone. Hi, I'm Russell from Amplify Automation. I'm based here in Australia, and my whole mission is helping small business owners like you adopt AI and automation in a responsible way so you can save time, cut costs, and reduce stress. Because, let's be honest, running a business is hard enough without spending hours answering the same questions over and over again. Today, I want to show you how you can set up an AI chatbot for your website using a tool called N8N. The best part, you don't need to be technical. This chatbot can reply to customer questions 24/7, collects leads while you sleep, and free up the time so you can focus on actually running your business. Think of this as having a team member on your website who never takes a day off. Let me just give you a real example. Let's say you're running a plumbing business. Your chatbot could answer questions like, do you do emergency callouts? Or how much does a block drain cost? If it's a bigger job, the chatbot could take the details and book in time in your calendar. Imagine how many calls, missed, and leads you could avoid just by having this automation in place. So as I said, we're going to use a tool called N8N. You can think of N8N as a control center for your automation. Imagine digital Lego blocks you can connect together to make things work on their own. For example, you connect your website chatbot to an AI model, then connect it to your email or a CRM. The best part, it's much cheaper than a lot of the alternatives out there, especially once you start. I'm not going to show you how to set up N8N in this video. If you check one of my previous videos, I run you through the whole process of signing up and creating a very basic automation. So check that video out first. So let me just give you this high-level summary of what this chatbot would do. So imagine a visitor types in a question to your website chatbot. That goes to N8N and sends that question to an AI model. The AI writes the reply in plain English, and then N8N sends the reply back to your website instantly. So from a customer's point of view, it feels like they're actually chatting with a real person. So let's get into it. As I said, we're going to use N8N to build this chatbot. So what I'll first do is just explain to you what we're going to build, so you can see it here, and I'll explain to you at a high level, and then I'm going to create a brand new workflow, and we're going to build it from scratch together. So this here is the trigger node. So this is basically the chat that you talk to the model. So you can type in here. I'll move my head out of the way. You can type in here, hello. Yep. And it gives me a response. And if this is the first time you see N8N in action, you can see when these light up green, that means the request successfully goes through these nodes. If they are red, then that means it's an error. But in here, it actually went through correctly. I got a transform sort of node here, just changing some of the variable names so they're easy to remember. But essentially, coming in here from the website chat, you can see the input that I sent through, and you can see the chat input there is hello. And I've just mapped that. I can explain this in a bit more detail later, but as we're setting it up. But you can see here, I mapped that from a user message, a chat input to a user message. You just go back out to the canvas. So what's happened here is this AI agent. So this AI agent has different capabilities. It obviously has a model that's attached to it. And here we have ChatGPT. An agent also has memory, and an agent also has access to tools. So you can think of tools as actions that agent can do, because LLMs can't actually perform actions themselves. They can answer questions and do a very good job of that, and summarize text, but they can't actually do anything. And that's what an AI agent is. It has memory and it can do things. So I'll just open the AI agent here and show you how it works underneath. So you can see here that it accepts an input, which is the chat message, as I said before, the hello. That will get fed into the LLM, so ChatGPT. But here's sort of I guess you'd say that the brains or the system prompt that actually sort of drives this AI chatbot. I could do a whole another video about prompt engineering, uh, but right now I'll just go over just a couple of the high level sort of structure of this. You can see we break this down. This is a markdown format which AI can handle, can pass and read pretty well than normal text. It's more structured. So first of all, we're assigning it a role. So I'm not going to read this word for word. However, it's the role is that they're a helpful assistant that works in a solar installation company. Then we give it a list of tasks. So we want our AI agent to respond to the users, appropriately, passing along queried inputs as it says there, and just actions that it needs to perform to deliver on the requests. We also then now give it some list of tools. So, and this is the sort of actions that the agent can do. So we list those out, and you'll see that these names correspond. I'll just go back. So get contact details, get meetings, and schedule meetings with participant. You can see here if we go back, this is the name of these nodes here. So it's very clear that what the AI agent needs to do and what tool to call. So, and I'll just give you a quick overview of what these tools do. So, get contact details. So this is kind of almost like a little mini CRM. It's just a Google Sheet in this example, but it's taking the person's name, email address, and mobile number if they provide it in the chat. Get meetings checks the calendar to be able to see if there's free slots to book in an appointment, because the idea of this chatbot is that it answers questions, but it'll also take appointments for the business. And then that's checking the calendar. This tool now here is schedule meeting with participants. So I have the customer's email address and the company's email address, and we send out a calendar invite essentially. This is really important too. You'll hear terms around like sort of RAG systems, retrieval augmented generation. This is about providing the LLM with additional information, custom specific information that it probably doesn't have in its model. So these would be questions about your business, for instance, and these would be like common questions. This is kind of like a very basic way of implementing a sort of a RAG solution by just providing the questions and answers in the prompt here. I'll do a video of proper RAG implementation with vector databases in a later video, but this is just to get us started. So you can so common questions you'll likely get on your chatbot is like, what are your working hours? And Monday to Friday. That actually says where. Let me just change that while I'm here. What are your working hours? Our office hours are Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. A common question. As I said, this is for a solar installation company. So what suburb do you typically install solar for? So you can list out that as well. At the bottom here, this a little bit of a notes section or additional context, you could call it, is just sort of general sort of advice. Always answer in plain text. Never markdown, which is the format this in, or any sort of code or anything. It's also very important to let the LLM know what time it is, especially if you're booking calendar, sending calendar invites and booking time. You need to make sure that you're in the right time. And with N8N, you can set your time zone. So make sure when you set it up N8N, it is in your time zone. Because if you set it for New York time, it'll think now is New York. So that's really important as well. Right, so we'll back out of this and I'll show you just some of the other nodes quickly. You'll notice here this has gone orange. That's because I changed that typo to what in there. So it just means that it needs to be, the configuration's changed, so it's not sure. It needs to be run again to be verified that it will work correctly. But it was only a small change, so we should be fine. Here's the OpenAI chat model. I'll do a separate video for this, but I'll try to keep this one. You need to set up your OpenAI account, so you need to put an API key in there, and I'll create a separate video for how to do that. But I just want to give you a demo of this to start off with. Once you have the API key configured, you can configure the different models that you want to use, all the different models that are available. I'm just going to go with 4.1 mini for now. I'll get too detailed into this, but sampling temperatures are more around the creativity of the responses. So if you do 1, 1.0, the responses will be very creative. If you do lower, they'll be less creative and kind of less hallucinations, more factual. I might just drop that down to 0.2. Okay, every AI agent needs memory, so this is just a very simple memory node. So here you can set sort of the context window length. So that's the number of chats that it remembers or past interactions, as it says there. I normally set this up to 5, so it remembers past interactions of information that you've provided it. But let's just say if you drop that down to 1 and you share your name, it'll remember on the first response. But then if you ask another question, it won't remember your name after that. Let's just set that for 5 for now. We don't have to go into that too deeply. So I'm just going to explain some of these tools here. So this is the get contact details. So this one here, there's a lot of information here. I won't go through all of it. Basically, you connect to your Google Workspace account if you're using Google. Again, I'll show you how to set that up in another video. There is a link I'll probably put in this video around how you set up your client ID in Google Workspace or Google Console. It can be a little bit confusing, but if you just follow those steps, I'll do a video about it as well at some stage. Basically, what you're doing is you're giving it access to your Google account, and then you're sharing a document with it. So this is my customer list. So if you come over here, you can see this is my customer list. And right now that's empty. Come back into here. I'm sharing sheet 1, which you can see. Just look in here. Sheet 1, it's there. And then come back into here. So you can see here it's got a name, email, and phone columns, and they map exactly to the columns in here as well. Okay, so the AI chatbot will try to, when they make a booking, a solar quote booking, they'll try to click the name, email, and phone number from the user. I'll leave that at that for now, but that's what this node will do, and it'll append rows to the sheet, so add them to the sheet. So in this one here, these are 2 nodes that are, or 2 tools that are connected to our Google Calendar. So I'll just open this one up here as well. So again, you provide your credentials to your Gmail account, and this will basically check your Google Calendar to see if you have available time to take that booking that the user asked for. So it'll basically search from now for the next 2 weeks. You can change that to be 4 weeks, so it checks for longer. And that's the calendar it's linked to, which is my Amplify automation email. Okay. And then we come back to this one here, which is the create event for the Google Calendar. So you can see here, it's clicked on my Google account, but it's got a create option, so it's creating events. There's lots of different fields here. The model, in terms of, will pass in the start and end times. We'll get that from the user and from the calendar lookup. But then also it just sets some additional settings here. I'm not going to go into all of these right now, but basically this node will create events in your calendar. When you set up your client auth details, you need to give it permission to edit your calendar, not just view. If you only give it view permission, this won't work. Okay. So I'll give this a demo of how this works, and then we're going to create our own one, okay? So we'll type in, hello. Yep, so welcome to Solar Us. How can I assist you with your solar installation needs today? So I'll just type, I would like solar for my home. Okay, great. That's great to hear. We can help you with your solar installation tailored to your home and energy needs. Would you like to schedule a free in-home quote? I might just before I do that, I might just ask their opening hours like I showed you before and see if that answers it correctly. First, what are your open hours? It doesn't really apply for a solar installation company, but just an example. So there you go. Our office hours are Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So it answered that question correctly. And also in the prompt, you might not have saw, but I encouraged the LLM to keep trying to make a booking with a customer. Yes, please. So, yes, please. We'd like to see with the booking time. Can I do Monday the 15th of September at 10 a.m. Let's just say that. You can see the different nodes that are working there. Monday the 5th of September is already booked for another appointment. Okay. Could you please suggest an alternate date and time? Okay. And my calendar must be booked there. Monday 15th of September at 11 a.m. Okay, so it's available in my calendar. If I can just bring that up here, just so you can show that it is working correctly. On calendar and there. So you can see there's already a booking there. I was testing before, so there's a booking there, but 11 o'clock is free. You can see that's 11 for the 15th. Okay, so that is working. Come into here, I'll share my details. My full name, Russell. Email is and my mobile. Okay. So you can see the agent doing some work. It's recording my details. It's doing some more thinking. Right. So we've got a response. Your free solar quote appointment is confirmed for Monday, the 15th September at 11 a.m. We look forward to visiting your home and discussing your solar needs. If you have any other questions or need to reschedule, feel free to reach out. Have a great day. Great. Well, this has verified that worked. I'll show you into the customer list that we've stored the value into the very makeshift CRM. Got my name there, my email address, and my phone number. Lost a trailing zero. That's because it's a text field. We come into the calendar, so you can see a meeting's booked there in the main calendar. But then also, if you look into here is the calendar of my email address. This is my own email address. You can see that the invite's there as well. We're going to open that up. Yeah, you can add a description. I've only had a very basic sort of setup. You can add locations and put address in. I haven't done that just yet, but you can easily add that in. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to create a new workflow and create this from scratch to show you how easy it is to build this sort of chatbot for your website out. So we come into here, into workflow. I'll just save those changes before we go. Right, so this looks a bit daunting for sure, but I'll take you through it step by step so that we can, I can share with you how to do this yourself. Okay, so add the first step. So usually, pretty much always in the N8N, the first step is a trigger step. So if we type in trigger here, lots of different triggers. But we might just come back to here, go to chat trigger. There we go. The chat trigger is what we want. All right. So you will want this publicly available. We'll just check on that. We haven't made it active yet, so this would be our webhook link. I'll talk more about webhooks at a different time. Here you can control things around like what the initial message is on the chatbot. I'm not Nathan, I've got Russell there. A lot of other configuration items here, but we'll just go with that for now. So it doesn't do too much. So what we'll do now is we'll connect it to an AI agent. So you just search in here, search for AI agent. There you go. So that's taking the prompt here. So yeah, connected to a chat trigger node, defined below. What I might do is just leave it as the trigger node. It should just pull in the chat input from the previous node, which was the chat prompt. So what we have to do here as well, we've got to go back and add that system message. So I'm just going to copy that in here, system message. Let's get rid of the helpful assistant. Put that in there. I'll just open that up so you can see it. Make it a bit bigger. Yeah, so basically it's the system message that I was showing you before. We can back out to the canvas there. So it's highlighted in red mainly because it doesn't have the required nodes that are associated to it. It doesn't have memory or a chat model. So I'll go and add those now. So you can add many different chat models in N8N. As you can see here, we've got DeepSeek, Anthropic, Grok, Mistral, Llama as well. You can have lots of Open Router. I'll go into Open Router. Open Router is amazing as well. But for now, we're just going to use OpenAI or ChatGPT. So as you can see here, we've got OpenAI account. I've configured that already, and we've chosen the model. So back to there. We want to add some memory. So again, if you want to do simple memory, you can actually connect to a database like Postgres or MongoDB. For this scenario, we don't need to do that. We can keep it pretty simple. So here it defaults with the context window of 5, which is good. We'll leave it at that for now. So we can probably just leave that as it is. And then we want to start adding our tools. So from memory, we had 3 tools in the previous one. So add the first tool. We want Google Sheets. So we type in Google Sheets. Now this is where I've already got my Google Sheets account. So and for this operation, we're going to be adding rows into the database. So into the spreadsheet, I should say. So you want to append. And here it's just asking what document to choose from the list of documents. So again, I'll use customer list. Then from list and sheet 1. And then it's already picked up that it's picked up the column names, which is great. And if you click on this button here, you can actually map this out yourself, be very specific, and that can probably give you more consistent results, or you can let the AI model work this out for itself. For this example, I'm just going to let the AI model work it out for itself. So here, I'll click that one as well, and that one. That should be enough for this, but we'll just rename this to get contact details. It's important to name that because that, as I mentioned before, that matches back to the tool name. Okay. All right, so we've got our contact details. Okay, so now we're going to add the calendar tools. And the first one will be for searching the calendar for free meeting appointments. So we'll just type in calendar. Type, there we go, Google Calendar tool. So it's already picked up my Google Calendar account. Per operation, we don't want to do create. We want to get many, so you want to retrieve many events from the calendar. Okay, so see, because it's already logged into my account, it knows to check for certain calendars. So we'll go that one there. You could specify return all events, which I believe would probably do historical ones as well, which is probably not what we want. We're going to limit it to 50. It makes sense. It's going to look for events from now up to a week on this one. You can change it. I changed it to 2 in the example that I showed you, but you could specify a month as well if you want. So that's probably all we need to do on that one. Let's go back to Canvas. We'll just tidy everything up here. The little broom here just tidies up your workflow. So the next tool we're going to add, it's a little bit tricky with crossing over the lines. We want to actually create the calendar node that creates events in your calendar. So again, it's the calendar tool. If I can spell, there we go. All right. So actually, it's very important to change the names of these. I'll update the other one, but this one is schedule meeting with participant. Yeah. Okay. All right. I didn't spell that very well. There we go. So again, what do we want to do here? We want to create, that's the right option. Make sure you check the right calendar. So we want to make sure it's this calendar. We can add in additional fields here as well. I'll just leave that blank for now, just for example's sake. So we've got the create option. It should be good there. Let me just rename this one here so the model knows which node to call. This one is get meetings. It's very important to name those. Okay. All right. So we kind of have the basics of our AI agent up and configured. Okay. So let's just test the workflow. So again, we open up the chat window. We've already got it here open. So let's just type something basic to get us started. So hello. Great. Again, you can see provided that system prompt that I mentioned, and you can see it's how can I assist you install your installation needs today. Again, if we come back into, say, this node, going to expression, let me just open that up. There's another question that we could potentially ask it. So, how long does it take to provide a quote? So we'll just go back to there, canvas, and ask us a different question. How long does it take to provide a quote? Okay, you can see that official quote is sent to your email within 3 business days. Like we can schedule a free home appointment. So it's trying to get us to book that appointment. Let me just double check the answer on that one, just to keep me honest. But it was how long does it take to provide a quote within 3 business days? So it picked it up nicely. So you get a lot more questions here. I just want to give a basic example. And if it gets too many questions, your prompt will get too big. And that's where you do want to use a proper RAG system using a vector database. But I'll do that in a different video. Okay, so we've got there, and let's just say you want to book an appointment. So yes, book an appointment, please. Okay, so your full name, address, phone number, and you can provide those details. I don't think I provided a date yet, but it'll probably ask me that in a different sequence. You can see different chats, the sequence of events can be a bit different as well. So let me add those in. I'll just change my name to this Bob Test. As you can see in the spreadsheet, it's not the same value. Bob Test. My email is let's use the same email for now, as you better see the different row in the spreadsheet. And my phone number is 8 not my real number. Okay, looks like it's saved my contact details, but it needs to find out when the right time is. We have available a home appointment for the following details: 10 a.m. to 11, 11 a.m. to 12. That's really cool. It came back with suggested dates, which is great. Can I have 11 a.m. on Monday, the 15th of September. So it's working. Scheduling. Great. So it's been confirmed, and it's in at 11 a.m. And it's closing off the conversation there. So let's just double check that all that worked. So if you go into the customer list, you'd see Bob Test. Actually have it there twice. A small bug we'd have to fix up. It does have it in there twice, so we can work that out. There might be some setting in the node that needs to be adjusted, but that's okay. Calendar, we can see here that it's booked that time in. You should be able to see here. Yep, there's one there as well. Okay, so essentially, just within those, obviously, I went through pretty quickly on that. A lot of all my login credentials are already set up, so it makes that super easy. And once you're doing this the first time, setting those up does slow you down. But you can see here just how quickly you can set up something that's quite powerful that can respond to questions on your website and take bookings for you while you sleep. So this is a pretty cool tool that doesn't cost a lot and doesn't require a lot of technical knowledge to build out. So that's great. This chatbot works inside N8N, but how do you connect it to your website so it actually works for your business? So I'll quickly show you how you can connect it to your website. It'll be very dependent on what website platform you use. There's many out there. I use WordPress for basic websites. So I'll show you how to do it in WordPress. But even in WordPress, you have different themes in WordPress, and there's different ways of configuring custom code in WordPress. So I'll show you how to do that just quickly. So I'm going to use my website as an example, the Amplify Automation website. Really what you need to do is, I can share the link to this, but this is the NPM chat, N8N chat repository. And down here, it tells you how to actually install it. So if you want to install code into your website, you just take this little snippet and you take your webhook URL. So if I just show you here, your webhook URL, this is it here, okay? So that you'll need to uniquely identify your automation. All right, so just back into here, I will go into this My Theme options. So again, this can be different for everyone. This is a way you do it in WordPress. So as you can see, I'm in my admin area for my website. As I said, each theme has different ways of configuring custom code. I'll just do it in my theme. So just paste in the same text that I just copied from the N8N chat repository. I've just changed my webhook details. I've also just changed my name in the chat prompt. So I'm just going to go save changes. I'll come over to my website. You can see here it's not in there at the moment, but if I hit refresh, right. So now you can see the little chat prompt has come up, so it's added to the website. And now you can change the colors of this window. This is the default ones that come. You can override it in that script that I copy and pasted before. You can override it with different colors so it matches your brand theme. You see here it's given. I've given it the unique sort of intro with my name. So type in a question again. Go say hello. And the chatbot respond, how can I assist with your solar installation needs today? So you can see it's answering as a solar installation company. I'll just ask a general question. What is your company name? Okay, there we go. As you can see in that prompt, our company name is Solar Us. How can I assist with your solar needs today? And just like that, you have an AI chatbot that's running on your website. If I just come back into here, you can just verify as well through the executions. You can just see that this just came through, or just load up the chat history. You can see in here, if I just minimize some of this, move me out of the way. And you can see here, you can see the question asked around what is your company name? Company name is Solaris. That was the message that it said responded to in the on the website. So you can see it's all hooked up and working through here. And I only asked the questions. I didn't execute all these nodes, but it did ask a question and save the question in memory, and also sent the prompt off to OpenAI. So a tip to get you started. Here's something you can do right now. Right. Questions your customers always ask you. That's the perfect starting point for your chatbot. Even if you don't think about appointment setters, if you just want to have questions answered that you always get asked, like that's the perfect starting point for your chatbot. Even if you just get answer those three things, you'll instantly save time and make your website more useful. So this was a bit of a long one, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you found it helpful and you'd like to see more simple, practical ways AI can help your business, hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like me to personally help set up your own AI chatbot or other automations, book in a free 30-minute discovery call with me. The link is down in the description. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.